Why? Because seeking approval makes you a servant to shifting opinions. But when you turn inward and root your actions in principle, not people-pleasing, you reclaim something they can't touch, your freedom. 3. Your mental clarity returns. One of the most life-changing effects of no longer being overly nice to the wrong people is this: your mind becomes clear again. When you're caught in the cycle of trying to please people who only take, your mind becomes a battlefield. If you find value in what we're discussing here, a simple, free way to support us is to hit that subscribe button and don't skip any part of the video. Each piece of information could be the key to unlocking deeper insights into human nature and your personal peace of mind. Did I sound too harsh? Should I have said yes? Will they be upset if I don't respond right away? You become consumed by the fear of disappointing others, and over time that anxiety becomes your default. You don't even realize how heavy it's become until you let it go. Here's the truth. Pleasing the wrong people dulls your perception. You stop trusting your instincts. You silence your inner voice to avoid conflict. Eventually, you lose touch with what you think, what you want, what you need, because your mental space is occupied by everyone else's expectations. But the moment you start stepping back, stop overgiving, over-apologizing, and over-explaining, the fog begins to lift. And what returns is something sacred: stillness. Seneca put it simply: remove unnecessary things from your mind and peace will return. And sometimes the most unnecessary thing you're carrying is the emotional weight of people who never carried yours. When you stop performing for those who don't respect you, you create space to think, to breathe, to realign with yourself. Mental clarity doesn't come from managing other people's happiness. It comes from living by your own principles and protecting your peace from those who chip away at it. The turning point. You don't lose real connection when you stop overgiving. You lose illusion, and in its place something better begins: honesty, strength, and above all, peace. 4. You gain self-respect. One of the most powerful transformations that happens when you stop being overly nice to the wrong people isn't just about setting boundaries, it's about reclaiming your dignity. True, lasting self-respect begins when you stop putting yourself last. When you live to please others, it's not just about making them happy, it's about making yourself small. You soften your voice so theirs can be louder. You downplay your needs so theirs can take priority. You say yes when every part of you wants to say no, just to avoid conflict, but with every compromise you slowly distance yourself from the most important person in your life, you, not physically, but emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. And every time you silence your needs, a small piece of your self-worth fades. The Stoics remind us that true peace doesn't come from avoiding conflict, it comes from alignment. Choosing inner peace over people pleasing isn't selfish, it's essential. Because the moment you stop agreeing to things that don't align with your values, something profound happens. You stop chasing validation and start honoring your limits. You stop asking for permission to be yourself and simply be. You stop seeing your time and energy as favors to be given and start recognizing them as non-negotiable parts of your dignity. And when you begin treating yourself with respect, something inside you shifts. You walk taller, you speak with confidence, and you no longer seek approval to exist fully. Self-respect isn't something you earn from others, it's something you embody from within. 5. They try to manipulate you back. One of the most eye-opening moments in your journey towards self-respect happens when you stop being overly nice to the wrong people, especially those who quietly benefited from your silence, your compliance, and your emotional labor. At first, stepping away from unhealthy dynamics might feel like a loss. The silence where chaos once existed can feel unfamiliar. You might wonder, did I do the right thing? Or fear, what if I end up alone? But that space, it's not emptiness, it's a clearing, a chance to fill your life with people who truly value you, not just what you can offer them. The Stoic perspective on letting go, When you walk away from relationships built on convenience, you open the door for those rooted in respect. When you stop giving endless energy to people who only reach out when they need something, your vision clears, and suddenly you begin to notice who actually shows up. The ones who check in just to ask how you're doing. The ones who listen without waiting for their turn to speak. The ones who respect your no without demanding a justification. Breaking free from the burden of being too nice. Have you ever felt the weight of always being the nice one? The one who gives, who waits, who accommodates, while others take without hesitation. You stay patient when disrespected, remain present when ignored, and before you know it, your kindness has become a trap. But here's the truth, just as you control your virtue, you also control your boundaries. So what happens when you stop pouring yourself into people who only come to take, not to connect? The answer isn't resentment, it isn't retaliation, it's clarity. If you're finding value in this message, a simple way to support it is to subscribe and stay engaged. Every part of this discussion offers insight that could shift the way you see yourself and others. Because when you stop overgiving, people don't get upset because you've changed. They get upset because they can no longer use you in the same way. And that reaction speaks volumes. This isn't about shutting people out, it's about waking up. It's about recognizing the difference between being kind and being taken advantage of. So what really happens when you stop being overly nice to the wrong people? Stick with me. This isn't just a mindset shift, it's a turning point in how you live your life. 1. People show their true nature. What happens when you stop bending over backward for people who have come to expect your kindness as a given? You've seen it before. The ones who praise you for being selfless, patient, and endlessly accommodating, so long as you keep saying yes. But the moment you set a boundary, everything changes. The smiles disappear. The warmth turns cold. The passive-aggressive remarks start. Suddenly, the person who once seemed so supportive begins to reveal another side of themselves. And here's the hard truth. When you draw a line, their true character is exposed. The same people who once flattered you may now guilt-trip you, criticize you, or call you selfish, but you haven't changed. You've simply stopped playing the role they preferred. What really upsets them isn't your growth. It's their loss of control over your time, energy, and silence. And that reaction, it's the most honest thing they've ever shown you. 2. They lose their power over you. When you're always accommodating, always available, always putting others first, you unknowingly give away something priceless, control over your own life. Your time, your energy, your emotions become dictated by their expectations. Their disappointment influences your choices. Their approval shapes your sense of worth. But the moment you stop living for external validation, something powerful happens. They lose their grip on you. Because here's the reality. Your niceness wasn't just generosity, it was silent permission. By always saying yes, you allowed certain people to take up space in your life without limits, drain your energy without consequence, shape your silence into their power. But when you stop over-explaining, stop apologizing for setting boundaries, and stop needing to be liked, something shifts. They realize, perhaps for the first time, that they no longer own a piece of you. And for those who relied on your compliance, that's a frightening thought. As Marcus Aurelius once said, you become powerful the moment you no longer seek approval. That is the essence of this transformation. When you stop overextending for the wrong people, you don't close the door on connection. You open the door to something real. This isn't just about setting boundaries, it's about reclaiming yourself.